This program is powered by thevirtual.show, making your offline events virtual. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of WEBIT Virtual, Dr. Plamen Russev.
Hello, wonderful WEBIT community, and great having you with us at this special edition of the Planet Earth Summit, the Planet Earth Week, where we are having some great thought leadership talks and forward-thinking discussions on where we're heading as a humankind, as socium, trying to build a better future, desirable future for us and of course for the generations to come. And there is nothing better than that but presenting innovations that could help us get closer to this. Of course, I'm far away from thinking that one solution is like a one tool solving all, but still it's all about making the right steps in the right direction and things happen. That's what the WEBIT community is for. And that's why we have gathered together here both great founders and investors who will support that process by sharing feedback and presenting their innovations. Without further ado, I would like now to start with presenting you first the team of four presenters, four investors, and then the presenting founders. This is the first investor.
Tetiana Siianko is an investment advisor, Techstars startup community leader. She is a food tech program manager turned biodiversity entrepreneur looking to create a societal impact and economic advancement via tech and innovation fostering. Organizer of the biggest startup events in Sweden, she is working on bridging the gap between arts and technology and rethinking the food system.
Tetiana, such a pleasure to have you with us at WEBIT Virtual. How are you? Great to have you.
This very much the same. Thank you for inviting. Always a pleasure.
Well, this is the second time we have the pleasure to be with you, and I'm looking forward to have your feedback, your reflection, straightforward reflection on what you see and what you hear. Most probably, most probably our virtual attendees are already aware, but there are three ongoing round closures with investors being part of some of our open demo days with investors and founders. So it feels great to have that type of impact. And again, very grateful to all of you joining. Tetiana, with your permission, let me introduce other members of the investors panel. And we start. Thank you so much. This is the second one.
Eckhardt Weber is a managing partner at the digital health VC Heal Capital. He co-founded the digital health platform Heartbeat Labs, being responsible for business development, investments, and investor relations. A trained lawyer, he has been operationally involved in building and growing companies within the digital healthcare sector and has been managing director at FinLeap, Europe's leading fintech ecosystem.
Such a pleasure to have you with us, Eckhardt. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to the session.
Well, we have some great founders, some of them in mobile houses. So let's see how things will happen. It's COVID time, innovation at its best. Thank you for joining. Allow me to introduce the other two panelists of the investor jury, and we start. Here is our third one.
Craig Douglas is principal at SAT Ventures. He is responsible for deal sourcing, executing investments, and portfolio management, including environmental, social, and governance investing. SAT Ventures is an Amsterdam-based venture capital fund investing in European startups that impact the global energy system transition.
Craig, thanks for joining, and thank you for being with us. You are our third panelist on the jury panel. Thank you.
Thanks very much for having me. I'm very much looking forward to seeing these interesting presentations.
absolutely equally excited on our side. We're hosting 3 founders. They're almost at the same stage of development. I say almost, but not exactly. We have one company at 500K and the other 2 with a stage of 1.5 million. But I think the projects and the products they present will be really equally exciting for all the jury members. Allow me to introduce the 4th panelist, and we start. And here he is.
Alex Matsiuk is an investment manager at TA Ventures. He is responsible for deals sourcing and due diligence, having obtained business development and operations experience at tech startups and big corporates. Globally minded and network-driven, TA Ventures invests in early-stage tech startups, shaping the industries of tomorrow.
Oleksandr, great to have you with us. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Thank you for having me. Looking forward to those pitches.
My pleasure. I have a high respect for what you guys do in Ukraine. And before I forget, send my special greetings to Victoria.
Sure, will do.
Great. All right. Thank you, 4 of you, for being with us. Now, once we've presented the investors panel, let's start with the presentations. The rules are very simple. It's been like this for the past 13 years. 13 years of history of WEBIT and the Founders Games, being always non-for-profit and supporting founders and entrepreneurial ecosystem of spreading innovation around the world by committing our own resources for between 1 to 2 million euro every year in grants. Well, this time it's not physical anymore. Physical, bad English, in person. It is virtual. And but we still try our best to add maximum value to both sides of that equation that is spurring innovation around the world. So our founders will have 3 minutes to present their company and project, and 5 more minutes for Q&A with the investors. I say it every time, I'll repeat it again. Try to keep your answers as short as possible so we can have more questions from the investors, which will give you definitely a competitive advantage over the other 2 participants. So we start with Arthur, who is in Poland, somewhere in Poland, a very hidden place. Arthur, welcome. How are you?
Hello, I'm very good, thank you.
You're presenting a startup called SEEDiA, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. And you have 3 minutes to present it the best way possible yourself. The 3 minutes start now.
Hi, my name is Artur Racicki and I'm a co-founder of SEEDiA. We started 4 years ago. Thanks for having me on WEBIT Virtual. We help to build safe and smart cities. And how do we do it? I'll just present in the way that I will show you a couple of products, and I will start with the part which is not the most important, but make some visualization. So we have hardware product. This is a solar bench. The guy who was designing it is doing interior cars for Porsche cars. You can see some nice design for industrial spaces. This is another product, and me and my co-founder Peter. Those benches are charging mobile phones. They have Wi-Fi built in, they have weather sensors, and then they educate society about how much CO2 is reduced while we are using renewable sources of energy. So a very big step forward for us was building bigger elements of the city infrastructure, like they have 1 kilowatts of energy, so they can supply with, they are supplying already with lightning, energy for lightning, and some other elements, like we do use paper screens to do bus schedules on the bus shelter. So we do have another product like indoor kits with hand sanitizers, which we created now because there was a need because of the COVID. And we have created like an ecosystem of products. But what is our IP actually? So we do ourselves software, and we do electronics. So we do sensors. And recently, the business model is not only selling the goods like benches who are charging phones and doing all of that, but also we are gathering the data and we are delivering the information to the cities, and we are helping them to optimize the cost of, for example, traffic at the city. We are optimizing the cost of a collection of the trash can in the cities. So that's the next step of the evolution of SEEDiA. And looking at the team, there are two founders, me and Peter. We do not have investors in our company. We are raising Series A at that stage. And we also have almost 20 people on board, some of them from software, AI, to electronics, to people who are doing maintenance. The manufacturers we have some external suppliers for that. We do only assembly. So what is important, we have a very common goal with Peter, which is very crucial. We do believe that we need to do everything that we can to stop the climate change.
Arthur, but the 3 minutes are over. We will keep these slides for you, so you can come back anytime answering questions from the jury, and they definitely will have to ask you questions in regards to the scalability, the uniqueness of the idea, the marketing approach, business approach, and the team capacity. So who will start first? Ladies,
I would like
Tetiana, please.
Thank you for the presentation. Exciting, really exciting. I was intrigued by the words that you said, ecosystem of products. Could you please dwell on your future or your vision of future product developments?
We do have those ecosystem of products, but we do also deliver our electronics and software to other companies who are delivering elements to a city, let's say city infrastructure elements. We are already working with big companies like Skanska, like other local companies in the country. And we do also deliver just the technology without the hardware, and this is very important for us. At the moment, we have letters of intent with two major cities in Poland, and we are at the moment reading the information from city cameras, and we help them to optimize the traffic costs, because they are spending a lot of money on public transportation, and they have at that stage, for example, of the year, they have 80% less income than a year before because of COVID and that. So everybody's looking for the how to cut the costs, and because we can deliver them information that they cannot gather themselves, and we can inform them or where they should cut the some of the bus lines, or how they can rearrange them to work.
Right. Sorry, may I specify the question? Because since I understand that you're looking for outdoor, so smart city, and everything is outdoor. Are you looking also indoor furniture and how to make it smarter and help companies to be more sustainable?
Mm-hmm. So we are concentrating on outdoor, although we have some hybrid models, because every furniture that we do, you can do in a hybrid mode. So they use some energy from the light, even LED light or something, but anyway, you need to get grid energy to supply them with. So we do not, let's say, like those kind of projects where we connect to the grid, because it's something against what we are actually fighting for. What can I say? There are a lot of possibilities how to make the, let's say, offices or smart sitting more sustainable, but this is not what we do.
You are not helping yourself. Let's bring more questions.
So I would have a question on. So I feel a little bit maybe the products look great and sophisticated, but seem maybe a little bit too capital intensive to build up a company around those hardware products. And I really love the vision of a data play to optimize cities. So blunt question: do you need those products? Can't you just basically attach yourself on something simpler, less expensive, and basically faster get into a data play company?
It's exactly what you are saying, what we are doing now. So we are doing some products. We are cutting the cost of production because the more we do, the less cost we have. But at the moment we are implementing, for example, some solutions like just sensors on some city lighting to gather some information. So that's how we actually make more revenue, and it's more sustainable because it's sorry for my son, he's shouting. Yeah, but this is recurring revenue in that sense. Yes, so I fully agree, and this is our goal at the moment to transfer that model.
Okay.
In terms of your products that you're selling to date are interesting. But in terms of how are you going to approach the market? You mentioned you've got 2 cities currently with your products in it. How do you expect to scale beyond that?
So yes, we are working. We have implementation in 70 cities already on 4 continents. In at the moment over 22 countries. I said 2 cities are at the moment having a letter of intent to implement our new solution, AI solution, to optimize the traffic in the city. So you can see a map, a little bit all of the data, but you can see that we are in some places.
So how have you gone about approaching the cities?
Yes, and the distribution is the way we work. So we are finding a partner who is selling other goods to cities. That's how we work. And we are trying to find on each market the strongest partner possible who is selling other goods. And they can upsell our product, and we have a rev share model. That's how we work. And that's really, I've been running before a company which was present on 80 markets, and I duplicated something that really worked well.
Okay, great. We ran out of time. So thank you so much, Arthur. Stay with us till the end of this virtual event, and we will see who is going to win. In this case, not the money, but the hearts of the investors. Thank you so much for that presentation. Let me introduce our second participant. The company is coming from Switzerland, and we are having Salvatore De Benedictis joining us, representing KOMP-ACT, which I'm sure will be a very interesting presentation. Hello, Salvatore.
Thanks for your introduction. Hi, everyone.
First of all, you have been already trained how to do the presentations. You have 3 minutes. You should accept the control over your presentation, and the floor is yours.
Okay, so my name is Salvatore, and at KOMP-ACT we help industrial customers to make more energy efficient and more productive machines by eliminating the need of compressed air devices. The story of KOMP-ACT runs 2 years ago, when I decided to leave my job as aerospace engineer because I wanted to make full electric airplanes. However, something changed during my journey. I met, during a startup pitch competition like this one, a juror who was a top manager of a food making company, a very famous one, who told me that his vision was one day to make machines full electric, machines for food processing and packaging. I met his team, and I discovered a new world made of millions of machines running every day with plenty of actuators, pneumatic actuators, which use compressed air to produce every item that we enjoy in our daily life. However, they are responsible for a huge energy waste. 95% of the energy can be wasted, and this contributes also to a big CO2 emissions. I decided then to meet with all their machine suppliers, knowing better the market, and build up a solution for them. And this solution was a very powerful, small, lightweight electric actuators, by the way, KOMP-ACT, which does not require compressed air anymore. And it can retrofit all the existing actuators on every industrial machine. It's a big revolution. It does not require any more infrastructure to generate and manage the compressed air, and no accessories only two components, an actuator, a controller, and then there is an end-user software interface, because our actuator, differently than the old technologies, can be programmed. We sell actuators to machine builders through mainly a value-added distribution network, global. We also target large accounts. By the way, we tested and sold our actuator to a top 3 machinery company in the market. Results were impressive. We have demonstrated that we could almost double the speed of the machine, and we have reduced the energy cost on 95%. The market of actuator is pretty big. We are focusing today on the packaging subsegment, with particular focuses in 3 geographical areas, Germany, Italy, and Switzerland, which are leading countries. And we're looking forward to launch our product officially across the summer to fulfill the demand of initial 67 clients and few distributors. This is my team. There is myself. There is the Professor Marcel Jufer, who is known worldwide, not only in Switzerland, for having invented in Switzerland the Hyperloop project before Elon Musk. Often, she comes from Caterpillar. She is a digital market expert, and she has experience in building up a worldwide distribution network. We also have
almost on time, but you have your team presented, and it's great that you've reached that slide. Let's make sure that we continue with the questions from our jury. Who will start first?
I can start first again, if you don't mind. I mean, the topic of actuators for me sounds very, fascinating. I mean, really, it's like I knew about existing hydraulic, pneumatic, right? But then I have several questions. And first of all, thank you for presentation. It was very enjoyable. Electric actuators. It seems that they exist on the market. What is your unique selling point, first of all? Secondly, do you want to say that you actually can retrofit and yet you have created a plug-and-play device for any packaging machine with pneumatic actuator? Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, the second question is correct. And related to the first question, we have developed a new technology. There are very few manufacturers worldwide of this similar technology, but the actuator has a very low power. So normally they are very big and small, and they're also very expensive. So our selling point is that we have created an actuator which is very compact, and we are also offering this actuator at a similar price range of the old technology in order to allow the retrofitting, because it's an industry, especially packaging, which is sensitive to the price of the component. The actuator is a critical component for this industry.
Right, and you approach, who is your customer? Do you approach the big, FMCG companies, or do you approach machine builders? At this point, I didn't understand fully.
Yes, we approach machine builders. However, for us, it's very important to have indirect or even direct contact with end users, because they have to know about KOMP-ACT, they have to ask about having KOMP-ACT on their machines, and they have to know how to buy KOMP-ACT worldwide, wherever they have the machine, in order to service their machines.
Thank you.
One question from my end. Where are you in terms of traction in the market? Do you already have paying customers? And when and how much, or at which stage are you there, also to proving the sales concept that you're approaching?
Yeah, we have a slide about this. We have paying customers. Before the coronavirus, we had some R&D projects, and we had launching customers, which is a customer that sells machines to Nestlé, Mars, Danone, these companies. Yes. And they're already in use at any of those and basically users? They are using my product. We were discussing to showcase the first electric machine at the trade fairs in March this year, but unfortunately it's been cancelled. We are discussing to take up this project from where we stopped to present to the next available trade fairs a full electric machine.
And one maybe market question in terms of, would a customer use your product also to replace existing products, or is it rather just for new facilities that are built up?
No, to replace existing product. That's exactly the main value proposition. They're also thinking about having upgrade package also for existing customer application worldwide.
Okay, thank you.
This is the big advantage.
In terms of your manufacturing, are you doing the manufacturing yourself, or are you outsourcing it for mass volume?
At the moment, we are outsourcing in Switzerland with a partner. We are managing the worldwide logistics of the components. Our ambition is to become a manufacturer.
You want to become the manufacturer yourselves?
Yes.
Is there a particular reason for that? That give you an additional USP?
Yeah, this is one, because there is also a manufacturing technology that we're developing to be more competitive, and because for scaling, we need to become a manufacturer for scaling market.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. So the first one is about the defensibility of your business. So what makes your business defensible?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question, please?
What makes your business defensible? So why would it be hard to replicate your product, etc.?
That's a good question. There are different layers. There is, of course, the technological layers where there are patents. We have 2 international patents. There is electronics and there is software. And there are trade secrets in manufacturing, especially, and there is a huge know-how. The other thing which I like more is when we retrofit a machine, when we enter in a new machine design, basically we get a lock-in effect that's difficult to actuate. Because the customer wants a very reliable product that they be able to use for a certain time, and it doesn't change in the machine. And moreover, brands are developing a Swiss product for a highly reliable industry, which is really required.
And if you compare a pneumatic machine from or with actually electric actuator, I mean, we know the pros and cons of every type, right? Is it? Do you say it's produce higher number of it produces bigger quantity, and in terms of force, is it stronger than hydraulic? That's first question. The second one is actually maintenance. How can you maintain all the machines? I mean, how do you think about that?
Very good question. Very good question. Actually, the product that we are launching to the market is more dedicated for packaging machines, for replacing pneumatics. Of course, we can scale it, and this we have to study if this can arrive also one day to replace hydraulic actuators. But this is our vision. We want to electrify every industry from ground to sky. The second question, could you repeat again?
So first one is differences whether it actually fits, electric actuator fits the industry that you've chosen the best. And second one is, well, I have several actually, but primarily I'm interested about maintenance. How much maintenance does your device need?
Oh, that's a very good question. Actually, it's much less maintenance for a simple reason. It's electric. There is a software algorithm that is able to compensate any external factor. This does not happen with the pneumatics, which is mechanics, require an operator to continuously adapt or change the valve if there is a pressure drop, or if there is a temperature change, or if there is dust and so on and so on. It's much better in terms of maintenance.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but that's the end of the 5 minutes plus of Q&A. So thank you for your time, and great job. I would say really great job, Salvatore. Thank you. Stay with us. We are having our last participant, founder, representing the Finnish company called iFarm.
Thank you.
Presented by Kirill Zelensky himself.
So iFarm idea is that it's 3 basic principles. First, we need the food. We need the food everywhere. It should be allowed to grow food everywhere, no matter in city or not. And then it should do not harm our planet. And third, it should be as easy as personal computers. Everyone should have a possibility to push button and say, I want rucola or I want strawberry, and it will be growing. To do it that, I founded company 3 years ago. Now my headquarters is in Finland, and I'm already in 6 countries. And I'm working on the technology which allows it. First of all, it's software which allows you to grow, which knows how crops are growing. Second, I have a technology to build it as hardware if you do not have own farms, and our farms can be located in home, or it may be industrial size farms, fully automatic or semi-automatic. And we are growing very fast and rapidly. We are building farms now in whole Europe and the Middle East region. We are registered in the United States, in Europe, in Middle East, and in Russia. We already got some kind of recognition, like we just won Europass by TechCrunch and the Nordic Startup Awards. We are part of EIT Food, and we are still growing, and we have a lot of customers already. Actually, our target audience, it's generally everyone, because everyone needs to eat, but we are trying to divide them. So first of all, we are working with retail, HoReCa, and catering companies. Then, of course, farmers and food processing companies who just need to produce clean and tasty food and with predictable results. And then also it's pharma, flavor, spices company, and also corporate customers. Surprisingly, Google and Microsoft, they also want to get fresh food for their employees. So a lot of customers possible, and my selling them. What my offering them? In most of cases, my trying to establish first R&D center together to get understanding what they need, how they need, what kind of properties of food they need, and then there is different business models. My offering them either raw materials or food itself, or my providing them just technology, and then they decide themselves what they wanna produce. And or my building farms close by and renting it to our customers. For example, it's definitely it's fresh food, no waste, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're almost done, I believe. So
yeah, I'm almost done. I just want to tell that okay, and I'm still working with investors.
You may. Let's follow the rules that are equal for everyone.
Yeah.
We'll start with questions.
I would maybe, because I think you were about to say it just once in one sentence, what's the key value proposition to your customer, why they want to work with you?
Because there is no waste, there is very predictable production, and they can get food exactly in time and with defined quality.
So quality, I take from it.
Yeah, quality and quantity and everything predictable, and also it's saving planet, no spending water, land, etc. And predictable, of course. Especially it's important. Sorry?
Yeah, I saw that you finished answering. So my question would be, why are you the best team, to win this market?
Okay, probably not best, but maybe one of the best, I would say, because we are very balanced. We have people from software, we have people from construction, and we have people from agriculture. So we are combining them all together, and we are like crazy and unstoppable. Okay, maybe someone is better, but I didn't meet them yet.
You have
exactly in this area.
You have quite a large variety of different customers and quite a big variety of different use cases or business models associated with it. What do you want to be as a company? How do you want to set yourself up?
Very good question. Thank you for that. Actually, we would love to be more software companies than anything else. But today we have to build also hardware, because we have to create market for ourselves. But also I'm moving slowly, and I'm working with other hardware producers. Now we have already 3 agreements with one with Australian, one is Switzerland, one is Hungary and China hardware producers, and they're making vertical farms themselves from hardware point of view, and we're supplying for them software and knowledges.
So what software is going to be your USP then? Is it the knowledge around the plants? Or?
Yes, correct. It's going to be our unique point, software and knowledges inside, and this artificial intelligence system which recognize what happens with crops.
Question here, Kirill. Thank you for presentation. I think we're connected, but never met in real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the question. I mean, like, let's say that we already effed up the planet, right? I mean, the planet didn't survive. Is iFarm actually suitable for travels across planets?
Yeah, we're already doing it, and actually, it's our dream that people will get real freedom. And because if you can install farm in every house, then you can live wherever. So it's
what about the life spectrum? I'm asking because, like, depending on the life spectrum, you got the specific nutrients. I mean, how well do you study the nutrients composition in each plant? And is it healthy? Is it valuable as if it had been living, growing outside?
You know, this question is more go to Wageningen and other universities, which whom we are working very closely and trying to work even more. And they told us that, okay, totally predictable and controlled environment allows us to give more healthy and more tasty results, and we even can play with taste. Actually, we have some research about strawberry, for example, and we can get it better than Turkish guys got under sun.
And your environment is hydro or aero or aqua?
It's hydro and aeroponics.
Right. And what fertilization you use? I mean, can your products be sampled as biological?
Actually, you know, biological, it can be named as biological in the United States, not in Europe, because I'm producing without soil. So, but it is question of legislation. So, more clean than biological because I'm not using anything from outside. I'm totally controlled. There is no fresh air. There is no soil. That means no diseases. We don't need to use any kind of pesticides. So it's cleaner than eco in Europe. But I don't know, it's just legislation question.
And the question of the environment and what you use, because like here in Sweden, we use actually, sorry for taking over, we use urine and we use blood of the killed animals to fertilize the plants growing, I mean, in specific similar environments.
Yeah, it's you know, vertical farms are much more healthy for environment because it's everything inside, and then we control everything. We not issue any kind of this greenhouse gas. We just issue oxygen, and my eating CO2. Right. So and then we're locating it on the places where people are eating, then there is no travel, and then again there is no carbon emission by traveling.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to have these three founders. I promised you a wonderful opportunity to save the planet Earth today, and here we have three of those that could be a solution. You know, agriculture is the biggest polluter, or let's say one of the biggest polluters in the world. And I was surprised to understand that only 2% of the pollution comes from air transport, while the agriculture brings like tens of those. So let's have the reflection really quickly to these three founders. Tetiana, I know that we will start with you. So let us hear your reflection on the three presentations.
Well, that's a tricky question. It was a lot to take in. You know, I always get very passionate about the speakers. But generally speaking, great ideas. I mean, it seems like you have everything figured out. I mean, I don't know what kind of reflection you are waiting. I mean, you await for me to say.
It must be very straightforward. Things that you like, things that you don't like. Obviously, you are currently vetting the startups in the shared platform, so we know everyone's bets. We look forward to have them all. But it will be great to have really in a very, I would say, structured manner what you like, what would be your advice for improvements, particularly also in terms of presenting, you know, the drill.
Right. So SEEDiA, right, the first one. Well, great vision. I mean, you very much focus on smartify the city, and I think it was a great decision to go for data and having this as actually recurring revenue. As for the rest, perhaps you would like further on to think about indoor, how actually, since companies and working environments create a lot of waste, I mean, CO2, etc. Perhaps you could be looking also at some point also in indoor solution. But I mean, I'm not an expert in actuators, but I mean, it's a great solution. Since everyone is talking and going for sustainability and more sustainable solution. So, I mean, yes, fantastic. But one thing I haven't got fully, perhaps because we didn't have enough time, is, I mean, how you will be selling and reaching the customers. I mean, Industry 4.0, what is it, 5.0? It's a great, it's a great vision, and we're going to get there. But what is the way? How are you going to get your customers and sell the product? Although I loved it, I would be using it if I had one, if I need one. iFarm, I mean, guys, I mean, I haven't eaten your food, but I'm sure it's delicious. Although for me, I mean, indoor farming is a tricky business, right? I mean, you have to find your customer, you have to be next to your customer. And in the Corona time, lots of actually indoor farms in Sweden and Nordics went bankrupt because there was Horeca actually closed and stopped. There was no demand for the greens. I mean, one thing and as a backup, because everyone started doing that, I'm always thinking about diversifying your customers. It's not only B2B, but it's also B2C. And if you had that as a support, probably that can bring your company more resilience for the bad times that might come in the future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tetiana. Who will be next? Craig?
Sure. Yeah, happy to. Yeah. Good presentations in general. SEEDiA, in terms of where you are, commercially, is actually further along than I originally expected. So it's nice to see the commercial traction that you've managed to generate. Making that switch to data and selling data in cities and getting into other pieces of hardware is going to be your biggest challenge. And knowing what the revenue model is going to be for that data would be really good to have clearer, more to the forefront. Moving away from hardware to data, knowing where or how much additional revenue generation that's going to be, and how you're going to get in there rather than just selling your own hardware. So that's some good problem solving yet to come. Which is always a challenge for a startup. A great directional move. KOMP-ACT, I don't know that much about the linear actuator space. I know a lot about the industrial IoT space, and the move towards electrification is a great wave to be riding. There's a lot of people who are acting in this space. I don't quite understand why packaging over some of the other markets that are using linear actuators. In general, the robotics space is a huge area. The compactness of your system might well be suited in that market as well. So, why packaging over others? If it's just you're local and what obviously that's a good enough answer. But which other markets are interesting, and understanding why you're switching from outsourced to in-source manufacturing would be good to have clear in terms of a financial incentive for doing so. And finally, iFarm. I love the space. I'm an energy investor, not an agriculture investor, but I love the space that you're in. Huge growing markets, great potential, huge different variety of customers in where you can go, and focusing on how you're going to go to which customer base is going to be a huge challenge for you. So trying to make it as clear as possible what your value add is to each customer would be really helpful in understanding where the value is going to be in your business in the future.
Thank you so much, Craig. Oleksandr?
Yeah, sure. So instead of focusing on every startup, I would maybe like to give some general feedback to the three participants. So first of all, yeah, I guess although I loved all the ideas, I guess, you know, the big vision will essentially kind of make our planet a better place to live for the generations to come. I'd say that, you know, if you have only 3 minutes to pitch, guys, you should really, you know, get to the point. You should, you know, ensure that you cover all the topics that investors want to hear, right? And maybe be more also concise when you are answering questions. That's regarding the kind of delivery of material. What I really appreciated is that although all those 3, you know, were basically hardware-based products, and it might seem that they were super capital intensive, every one of you realized that software is something that creates value. The software is something that is essentially what we as VCs for, what customers are paying for, what makes your product defensible. And I absolutely love that you know you had this clear understanding. And then talking also about iFarm and SEEDiA, I would just give a piece of advice, you know, to focus maybe a bit more, because I agree with Craig totally that, you know, you still need to maybe figure out what is your kind of value props for every customer group, and maybe it doesn't make sense to, you know, at this stage of your development to deliver different value props for different value groups, to have different sales teams, etc. Maybe it makes sense to focus on the biggest one, or focus on the one that you are most likely to win, and really double down there. I guess that might be a super viable approach, and that's what I actually liked about KOMP-ACT's business practices, right? So they found their niche, and they are absolutely on the way to win it, and they understand what it takes to win it. Yeah, so that's my piece of advice for you guys.
Thank you so much, Oleksandr. And Eckhardt, you're the last one to share your thoughts and reflections.
Yes, thank you for that. And thank you for the 3 presenters, but also thank you to the 3 investors who actually basically gave all the great advice already. So I don't have to repeat that. But overall, I think my feeling is as well. I think what is really great, even in a 3-minute pitch session, is that with all the 3 presenters, I have the feeling they're very passionate about what they're doing. And for me as an investor, that's one of the most important factors that I want to see in a founder. Being passionate about, especially in those very, in my view at least, complex products and environments that you're at. And I can only encourage you to really stay in the game. I think, Kirill, you put it quite nicely, like you will make it sure that it's going to happen. I think that's important. And I think that was really great to hear and listen out of those pitches, even in those 3 minutes. On the other hand, I feel like, I mean, I'm more from a software side of investors. So I think whenever there's like hardware manufacturing involved, it's a little bit more complex or harder for me to evaluate. And therefore, I also often come from this capital intensiveness. So I think depending on who you're pitching towards, I think really maybe make it a little bit easier sometimes, and maybe even 1 or 2 slides less, and really just focusing on the core problem you're solving, the vision you're having, and the core approach you're having. I think we can always discuss in the questions afterwards what the competition is like, and what's the maybe USP in terms of competing against the defensibility, but really basically going to the core. And I think especially with SEEDiA, I had the feeling that I didn't completely in the beginning get, is it now rather a manufacturing and hardware company, as the software or data play, which I actually find a lot more attractive, and how you go about it. So basically a very clear focused on the core messages that you're having, problem, solution, vision, and that's how we're going to win the market. That I think is all you can ask for in a 3-minute pitch. Other than that, as I said, I think I really enjoy listening to you, and can only say thank you.
Well, thanks to the 4 investor jury. Thank you so much. Now I would like to have the 3 founders with me in the studio, and hopefully the reflections and the thoughts shared by the investors will add some value to you, and to the way you present, and to the way hopefully you approach investors. Who do you think is going to win? Salvatore?
I have no idea. Very good presentation, very good feedback from everyone. Excited, really, and I have no idea. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the feedback. For me, regardless who's going to win, it's important. It's experience. It's important to get feedback. This is going to make me grow, and Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Salvatore. Artur has brought a fan club around him.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry for some distraction, but I'm on holidays, as I said. I love iFarm. If I would be like, you know, you, I would just invest in iFarm. I love the idea.
Founder, are you giving your award to someone else? Come on, you have to be fighting for your own.
Guys, I know what I'm saying. I mean, the impact. I mean, I really appreciate the. I don't know how far they are, but the food industry is really polluting a lot. We are very strong. Probably we are the most advanced on the market. We work with the cities across, but in terms of like doing good and the real need and saving energy, no waste. iFarm is great startup.
Kirill?
Thank you very much, Artur. Thanks, everyone. You know what? It was so great to hear what you told us as a jury, because Tetiana, you told us, okay, we have to go to B2C. We exactly started to do B2C business, and we made these ready-made farms 3 months ago. So because we feel that, okay, probably it will be COVID situation, will be problems with our traditional B2B business, and then we created it already. Then also we are trying to concentrate on software, so it's another. And then we are trying to be more focused. Of course, you know, it's difficult to say who need us first, because everyone has to eat. So it's a little bit difficult for us to find which segment will fly first and better. But still, everyone needs to eat. So that's why for us it's a little bit difficult to concentrate on certain segment, but we are trying and takes and okay. And thank you for your input, Mabel. You know, I again wrote it down everything and said, okay, these things. I was just thinking, okay, this one we are trying to do right way. This one maybe not enough, but we will be improving. So thank you.
Great to have you, the three of you guys, and the fact that you have made it to this final speaks a lot. Again, that's you will be seen and watched by several thousand people, and hopefully they will be approaching you with ideas or investors who would like to hear more about your next round. So from that point, my personal advice would be, particularly Kirill, you really to focus on your market, whatever it is, and just go and get it. If you go for both B2B, B2C, and everything else, it might get distracted. But I really like your product really well. I see something which is not very common with us. I see the results by the voting of the jury. And there are only 0.4 points difference between the first and the second. It's really not a nice difference, I will be honest to you, because this means that you've equally managed to grab the attention and the hearts of the investors. Again, in this case, they're not putting their money, but obviously they're putting their reputation and their thoughts. At the end of the day, there is one winner, and this winner is the one with 0.4 points more than the second runner, and this is the company KOMP-ACT. Congratulations, Salvatore.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
So I think that in your case, what developed most probably with this very small difference is the fact that you're very focused and you're out there on the market, and you also represent a big market and huge potential. Again, congratulations. I'm absolutely delighted to have you, three of you, with us. And the WEBIT family now is open for you. If we can be of help on your way of raising your rounds and supporting you, reaching out to our global community of thousands of investors, happy to do so. That's why we've invited you to present you in front of our community. Congratulations again to the winner. Congratulations to the participants. And I'm grateful for the investors who have put their time and efforts vetting and reflecting. I believe this is equally important for the whole ecosystem. Thank you again. Congratulations, Salvatore. And this is the end of this event today, and announcing that on Thursday, we shall be meeting you with the leading media forum. You know that WEBIT goes for nothing but brilliant speakers and brilliant presenters of our virtual events. Coming up next are representatives of CNBC, Mashable, the New York Post, and we shall be having also Reuters joining us on the discussions on how and what should be done in order to achieve the SDGs. You will hear a lot of forward thinking. You will hear a lot of different and confronting opinions of these leading media journalists. Let's not forget that the first and most important part is pushing the efforts into building a common ground. And if major media like CNBC, Mashable, New York Post, and Reuters are on different opinions, then obviously there is a need of talk. And that's what WEBIT is for, a global thought leadership platform where this talk is happening. Again, thank you all for being with us, and I'm wishing you a wonderful day. See you next with another WEBIT virtual event. Thank you.
This program is powered by thevirtual.show, making your offline events virtual.